Now we'll open up for the panel discussion. Can you arrange the chairs, please? Before we start the panel discussion, actually, for the audience, please keep your questions ready and mention the name to whom you want to ask the question. And okay, Mr. Suresh, you talked about so much on the flow measurement. Okay, multi-phase, two-phase. So I have one question, which is basically we talked about smart transmitter of vendors such as like Emerson or Yokogawa, etc. Have already bought in detection of impulse line plugging. But is there still a scope for AI?
Definitely, sir. When we look at flow measurement with conventional DP-based systems, the impulse line plugging is an important issue. And as we have discussed, basically the type of noise, the sources, the nature of noise itself might differ site to site, or location to location where it's installed. And if you look at impulse line plugging detection as it is done in the process transmitters, now fundamentally it actually detects when a command is given to the transmitter to run a diagnostics. Otherwise it doesn't do a detection. Whereas in the DCS or your SCADA, when we try to have this as an assessment, maybe AI based or non-AI based, fundamentally we can run it on a periodic basis without a human intervention, and that could actually be a good thing.
Okay, that's good. And I have one question to Mr. Akash. You talked about IT/OT convergence. We learned so much, but still I have a question. Why IT/OT convergence still an unsolved puzzle? Okay, for many organizations, you can give.
Yeah, so basically the problem is lies with the OT network. If I want to have a convergence in IT/OT layer, I should be knowing where my boundary ends. I can put the lock if I know where my front door is. Everyone is having a house. We know where our main door is. We know where our safe case is, where we are storing our precious gold, jewelries, and whatever precious things we are having. So we know we are putting a lock over there. In case of organizations, many organizations, they don't know what is the boundary of their IT and OT. That's why we are not able to put the proper check and balance over there. So if you remember in my slide, I have mentioned the 4 or 5 layers. Generally, the convergence happens at layer 3.5. So many organizations, they are not able to arrive at their layer 3.5. What system they need to have, what system they want to have a communication with layer 4, means their IT or business network, what system they want to keep where they don't want any communication happen to with DCS. So problem lies with the clarity with the organizations and clarity with the layering system, which is very much documented in the Purdue model. The only thing they have to do, they have to assess their ecosystem, their OT side ecosystem, what they are having it, and then they have to place their system suitably. If they are doing it, so I think they will going to do that what is required in the IT side.
Okay, that's good. I'll ask my colleague one question. He talked about the project what we have been doing for the oil company, probably. Okay. Is there any other possibilities for similar thing what we are doing for across different manufacturing industries?
Yes, absolutely. So, in this instance, we've given an example of a refinery or a process industry, but the use case, what we see is it's relevant everywhere. It's relevant across manufacturing, operation technology, and you could go beyond. Repeatedly, what we're seeing is people have the knowledge of the technology, but it is about how do you understand your own business core values and how do you relate those against whatever is the new technology or the new theme that's there? So the answer is yes, very much relevant across. The same template can be used or something similar.
Okay, good. Can you open up for the audience, please? Any question? Yeah.
This is a question to Vikram.
Yeah, for flow measurement.
No, one second, sir. You will get the mic later.
So, Vikram, I think you mentioned about the change management and you talked about the people and technology aspect. As an organization, one of the biggest challenges today, technology is available to everyone, and I think everyone becomes an AI engineer, or everyone can, with no code and low code, etc. I think they think that they can work and use those technologies. But as an organization, there is a huge risk, right? The value part is there, but then there is a huge risk. I think we talked about the cyber security aspects as well. The usage of the technology, the IP protections, because of AI, there's chances of slipping. So how can organizations, or how are organizations trying to protect this challenge and address this plan? Because we don't want to allow the employees to not use the technology, because then that will demotivate them. But then how can the organization be prepared to address this challenge?
It's a very important question because it's a similar challenge that happens everywhere. So let's take the example of driving on the road. And one of the things that happens when we drive on the road is we have a system where everyone's supposed to get a license, supposed to learn how to drive, and then come on the road. Now, as we see that more than often that doesn't get implemented, and as a result we have that chaos. Let's take that same example to the IT world. We all use messaging technologies of WhatsApp and so on, and we use a WhatsApp group. But what are the rules of how are you supposed to interact with others on WhatsApp? What are you supposed to share, not share is not there. Repeatedly I'm coming back to the same thing is you have to train the people. Now, one option that you said is, look, technology is moving so fast. It's not that I can't not offer it because people will find other methods. So rather than trying to avoid it, it is about you gotta spend the time saying, okay, this technology of artificial intelligence is coming as a feature. What are the skill sets that are required in the organization, both from understanding whatever they have to where they want to go. And at the same time, obviously, this is a bit of a challenge for the organization is now is the time to invest in the pilot programs relevant for the core value. One of the things I wrote about and I find is interesting is whether technology is a boom or a bust doesn't matter. It's coming. You have to act and kind of work on some tweaks, some pilots yourself, so that when that time comes, you at least have got the knowledge to do it. No difference in defense, no difference in other things. It's preparation and planning. So there is no exact preparation or exact planning. Some may do more, some may do less, but it's not that you can avoid it.
Okay. Can you call here? Please.
I have two questions, one for the flow measurement and one for the OP. First, for the flow measurement, mixed phase flow, suppose steam and water.
Yes.
There are studies done in respect of application of AI, etc. Was there any study done with reference to something we call hammering? Because steam and water mixed phase flow, wherever in industries there is a typical sound coming, and sometimes pipelines vibrate also, called hammering, and then based on the water quantity in the steam, the hammering sound and the intensity, frequency, things are changing. Any study done taking the sound as a reference to correlate how much water formation out of steam is happening or condensation?
Okay. At our organization, our institute, FCRI, we have not done an experimental study on this aspect. But I think you are referring to cases related to boiler steam, right? I'll just check it up and get back to you offline on this. But otherwise, the particular two-phase flow measurement system that we have developed for BRC is for steam water flow measurement. Okay. And again, when you have two-phase flow, yes, the noise levels are typically much higher compared to a single-phase gas flow or single-phase liquid flow. So that is obvious.
Yeah. Regarding IT/OT, you are talking of the, making the system foolproof with reference to cyber attacks and all those things. Now, in that process, I have experience of two things. Very often, SEAL 3 certified systems, they do not go well with the cyber security implementation and things like that. That is one experience. Number two, to implement such type of thing, very often we make the system to go to hang condition. Whenever there is a foreign system getting connected to Yokogawa, for instance, in your case, so compressor control system to Yokogawa system, after doing all those things, we get into hang condition, tripping the plant. Do you have any such experience? If yes, how you overcome?
Fortunately, we don't have any experience like this. Fortunately, but while we were doing the assessment, because when we were taking up this OT SOC approach, so we have spoken to almost all the DCS OEMs which are present in India or not in India also. The big four, out of big four, Rockwell is there, like many Siemens also they are having big presence. We have spoken to every people, and we have spoken to the implementers who are doing it. I come across the similar kind of incidents with immersion system, what you are talking about. Then I inquired with the party who has done the implementation, because we don't want same thing happen to our place. Because our management was very clear, you want to put OT SOC, do it. I don't want my plant to be tripped. That was their clear mandate. So I can appreciate your concern. What happened in the case of implementing, generally what happened, they were doing the vulnerability scanning. Generally when we implement any security mechanism or anything into the OT network or IT network, it is nothing but scanning your network. You can give any name to that, any fancy name. I'll tell you, it is a scanning of your network and obtaining the information or logs which are running in your computer. In our case, in IT network, it's a computer. In case of OT, it may be switches, firewall, PLC, HMI or something. What we came to know is that they have included or they have directly exposed the end devices to the scanner. Because of that, your OT system, they are not designed to handle so much request. Because of that, they have gone to the hung state. How we can remove or how we can, I can say, overcome that, which we are doing it in our network. We are not exposing any of our endpoint directly to our syslog server or an NADS server. We are putting a switches or we are putting the alternative switches in between the device and the scanning server, so that whatever communication my endpoint is doing with some other endpoint, it is not being directly intercepted by any scanning device. Because if, for example, if Akash has to talk to, say, Kaushik or someone, or Mr. Vikram, I have to go via some switch. In that switch, I am creating a stand port so that I can always listen what Vikram and Akash is talking without compromising Akash or Vikram's capability. That's what we are doing it. But to answer to your question, sir, we have not faced it, fortunately.
But that answers me very well.
Thank you.
You switch so that we have an interface in between.
Yes.
It prevents the disturbance.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Akash.
Yeah. First, my question to Mr. Akash. Traditionally, OT integration has been focusing on the process technology and the process data historians. But many AI models, especially those related to asset performance conditions, they require a lot of data from the machine conditions and so many other online and offline systems, inspection data and many things. So there are many disparate systems and small time vendors to large vendors. So what has been BPCL's policy when you talk about OT integration, getting all the relevant data from those disparate systems, and also have there been any challenges in that?
Yes, sir. It's a very nice question, which is pretty much relevant and burning topic for our digital team. They are chasing us, and for MCMS, machine conditioning monitoring system we are talking about. Then wireless, I can say correlation data also, lot of things. So in case of BTCL, we do have MCMS system, we do have corrosion monitoring system, which are working as a standalone system in the OT network apart from your DCS. What our policy or our approach is, what we are trying to do is that this two approach we are having. If we can able to get the data in the DCS of those systems. For example, in case of Kochi refinery, we are having a machine conditioning monitoring system which is supplied by Honeywell, immersion only. So it was an interface was ready-made available between their system and DCS. So with the help of proper security containment, we are taking the data from their system to the DCS, and DCS say what is coming to my historian. One approach. Second approach, which is we are widely used approach, is we are those systems which are running in silos in the OT network. We are putting or pulling their data in our own data lake, and from that data lake, we are exposing that data to our all the user department, be it your digital team, be it your user group, whoever want to perform any analysis, they will be coming to data lake or my process historian, not to those systems individually. So with that, I am making a data available also, that I am not compromising security also, sir.
Thank you. And if I can just have one question.
Okay, please. I think we can have last question here.
Yes, sir. The windows of opportunity available, especially in leveraging these technologies, to all the organizations is limited. Short windows of opportunities available to realize the value from the decision to adopt it. So, how has been your experience of the assessment, convincing them to go through the assessment to realizing the value out of this whole engagement within the short and ever shifting windows of opportunity, so especially in the technological domain? Yeah.
So if you mean the implementing new technologies, is it?
From the assessment to gap analysis, implementing those actions and then realizing the value.
So what happens is the window of opportunity shouldn't be taken as any kind of race, because what you take the window of opportunity is what is your core business and what's your core profit. It comes back to the same thing, that is, if you look at the best managed companies or the most legendary investors, they are never getting blinded or carried by what is the window of opportunity of a technology, but rather how do I maintain my margins, my profits, my efficiency. And also in this instance, in case it's a very large and complex organization, it is almost like moving a tanker and so forth. The window of opportunities primarily is improving the skill sets of your organization. That's the fastest way to absorb it. If it comes to the fact that you say, yes, for example, I need to get an ERP system or a special new AI-centric system that's going to be across the organization, first step is you got to be able to check that where's your weakest link in the organization so that everybody is brought to a standard and then adapted. Again, I go back to the same example of driving a car and so on is, if people don't all drive with the same discipline or roughly within a certain tolerance level, you will have chaos on roads. That's why what we see sometimes in certain countries versus others, where the traffic, it's not that you have more traffic disciplinarians, it's just that the skill set of the driver is more similar. So every window of opportunity or technology depends on how quickly can you get the skill sets quickly done of the change.
Okay, thanks, Vikram. I think we'll take one last question before lunch. Okay.
Thank you, everyone, and I think sorry for being a spoiler asking this question, but I have actually 3 questions, one for each of you. I know it's, but I would like the answer to be very brief, and the questions will be also very brief. I think Vikram, first myself, I'm from Schlumberger. I look after the strategy for intelligent operations based out of London for the global operations. Schlumberger is the biggest service provider and OEM manufacturer for the upstream oil and gas. I've been involved with several digital deployment and projects. So the first question to Vikram, a very simple one. What we have realized is that in adopting technology, what you realize, technology is easy. People are difficult. In our experience, And I would like a bit of commentary on what we have realized. We have been successful in getting the results when we have full participation from the customer itself, having things like digital champions in different parts of the digital deployments. Wherever we have that opportunity, those projects succeeded. Other places, they failed. I'd like some perspective on that. That is one. For Suresh, it's a very niche question, excellent presentation. The problem that we have seen with pure data-driven models, evergreenness. You train it, it works well for a few months, and then they detroit. Now, in our experience, what we have seen coming out very well is physics-informed neural networks, where you constrain the pure data-driven approach with physics, and it started to do very well. If you have had any experience on it, and what do you think? And Akash, brilliant presentation. Now, OPA is coming up, which is openness. I think things will open up a lot more. Security, absolutely agree with you, is of critical importance. It is naive to understand and say, we will not have an attack. No matter what we do, there will be attacks. I think it's also about mitigation, right? Have you considered Edge AI as a role player in improving security? And the second is, what do you think in the world of OPA, security, how is it going to play out? Is it going to become more difficult or easy with things being open a lot? We can discuss outside as well, but if you can give
I think you have asked 3 questions, it will take little time. If you can make it very brief, it's okay. Otherwise, one-to-one, yes. Yes.
Yeah, Edge AI, yes, we are looking into it. And to just very concise, OPA, yes, I can say not a challenge, it's an opportunity for us. That's what you can check.
Yeah, with reference to you said PINs, that is physics-informed neural networks. That is one recent strategy that we are also doing with reference to two-phase flow as well as noise assessment in pretty lot of flow measurement applications. Right now, I will not be able to reveal because this is basically a long drawn study and we only have preliminary results. So, but they seem to be encouraging. In fact, the failure rate has really been brought down by about 10 to 20% straight away by implementing some of them.
We can connect on that because that's our experience.
Change master is obviously the way to go. It is not that it's not that is the way, and there is enough data to show that is generally where success factors improve by almost 20 to 30%, which is huge. There is data from long.
So it's very consistent with what we have seen.
It is one of the most consistent approaches.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. I think we wrap up the panel discussion now, but before we go for lunch, we are going to give a very small token of appreciation. Yeah, no.